Okay, joining us is Jayanarayan Vyas of the BJP from Ahmedabad, Ami Yagnik of the Congress, Sankarshan Thakur of the Telegraph, and Ashok Malik is senior journalist. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Now, first question goes to, Mr. Jayanarayan Vyas. This line of argument that Amit Shah has chosen, Mr. Vyas, he has questioned why the Prime Minister and the Home Minister are not being probed like this. Now, isn't that a highly vacuous argument? A silly argument? Given that there is no shred of evidence, even you today will not be able to produce a single shred of evidence to point out to either the knowledge of the Prime Minister or the Central Home Minister in the fake encounter case. Can you?
I never thought, Arnab, you will make this question. It's you are talking about a parental responsibility. My first question is there a shred of evidence against Amit Shah? All these things matters are sub judice. But if you are talking about this parental responsibility, then why you want to say that when a coal secretary is in the charge sheeted by the CBI, the minister in charge of coal, which is a Prime Minister, is let down. He is let off. When a nephew of a railway minister is held guilty for something irregularity, the person with whom he was staying, his uncle, Pawan Bansal, is not held guilty. Now, how do you explain this kind of a differential behavior? I think one don't have to find many examples. If one wants to research on CBI, I think there will be a whole lot of literature that speaks about the partisan behavior.
If Amit Shah wants to ask a, one minute. If Amit Shah wants to ask a rhetorical question, then he can. But don't tell me here that there is a slight shred of evidence. And if you want to talk about the evidence that is being held here against Mr. Amit Shah, one can bring out quite a few, but I'll get the Congress party to respond. Sankarshan also disagrees with your perspective on the start. Ami Yagnik.
I will not believe that evidence of anything. I'll not believe any evidence that is for the better,
the point
which is sub judice and which is under adjudication.
The point is
undertake the media trial. There is no evidence. Whatever is the matter is sub judice.
Mr. Vyas, 1 minute. The CBI is not acting against Amit Shah in a vacuum. You understand that. You know that. I will come back to you. But I will now get a counter from Ami Yagnik.
Give me the time.
No, see, Amit Shah made the points. I will give you the time. But Amit Shah made the points in the interview 2 times now. He said, and I can read out what he said.
I'll answer you that question. I have
he said, why is the,
don't worry.
He says, why is the Home Minister there and why is the Prime Minister not being probed? So he's dragged in the Prime Minister. I'm simply taking off from what he said. Ami Yagnik, your response to the BJP.
First of all, it is very, very strange that Mr. Amit Shah is bringing in the Home Minister and the Prime Minister. It has become their habit to divert the attention of the main matter and bring these kind of baseless statements in the media. The second thing is that he has raised his pitch of counter-attack before whom? In the media. The trial is going on in the court and he will have a chance as an accused. Since when are accused giving answers and interviews on the media and explaining and justifying their stand and bringing in other people by way of baseless allegations in comparison to very, very strong evidence before a court of law against Mr. Amit Shah? The third point, you have to see the fake encounters in the background and the backdrop of Gujarat. 2002 and 2007. After the 2002 genocide, there have been 5 encounters very systematically done in a very, very similar pattern, and the victims' kith and relatives have gone.
How many have there been in Assam?
The Honorable High Court and the Honorable Supreme Court.
How many encounters in Assam? How many in 1 minute. How many in Uttar Pradesh? How many in Manipur?
We will come to that.
How many in Haryana?
We will come to that. Yes, you are right.
No.
Who was the beneficiary? Who became larger than life? Who became a hero? Who became the hero of this?
Who is talking about anyone becoming a hero? Is that the question here about who becomes a hero and who doesn't? What kind of argument is that? Ami Yagnik, I'm sorry, but what kind of an argument is that? Are you saying here today that there may have been... No, Mr. Yagnik.
You have to listen to me for 2 minutes.
Let us be very logical. You are on a very thin ice, I warn you.
In all the fake No, in all the fake encounters, the victims were, those who were killed, were found with small chits saying that we are terrorists and we had come to kill Mr. Modi. In two of them, Mr. Advani's name was there. So who got the benefits? That here is the person who has become a hero. So nowhere else in the country such encounters take place and the beneficiary is some one particular person. And that's how there is a difference. This encounters in Gujarat, you don't have to compare with the national encounters happening elsewhere. You please justify what was that. That you were
don't want
to have this kind of a modus operandi for fake encounters.
First of all, I want you to.
And then you justify yourself on the national media.
Miss Yagnik, you see, you're being very aggressive tonight. First of all, I want to give you an opportunity right here on live television of taking back your previous comment on who became the hero. Because, you know, are you saying Delhi, the national capital, had 10 alleged fake encounter deaths between 2009, 2010 and February 2013. Congress ruled Manipur at 12. So if the Congress party did not become a hero or no Congress leader became a hero, hence the politician should not be dragged in. Assam, Congress held at 22 in 2012-13. Samajwadi Party ruled Uttar Pradesh at 26. So Sankarshan Thakur, Ami Yagnik's argument is... No, 1 minute. Be objective. Ami Yagnik's argument is...
No, please let me answer.
No, let me complete.
Because there were
let me complete.
From these victims...
Let me complete.
Found, and there is an investigation of the Gujarat cops saying to this effect. I am speaking from the record, from the material on evidence, as evidence.
Miss Yagnik, I will not. No, you know, statistics are very strongly against you. I warn you. So, Sankarshan Thakur from 2002 to 2007, 440 fake encounters. Gujarat has 5. Uttar Pradesh has 231. Now, I'm not building any case here, but Uttar Pradesh has 231. Ami Yagnik said nobody became a hero, so let's not focus on that. I think that's a facetious argument. Sankarshan, where do you stand on this? Sankarshan.
Arnab, am I right in understanding we are talking about Amit Shah today?
Yes, but Amit Shah has built an argument and I'm discussing what Amit Shah has said. So one of the things...
Hold on, no.
One of the things with Amit Shah says, why are we discussing
Here is a man...
okay, you go ahead.
If we are discussing Amit Shah, you know, the Prime Minister and his government have their own questions to answer. Various state governments have their own questions to answer. My understanding is we are talking in the context of the interview Mr. Amit Shah gave to Times Now today, and the kind of interviews he's been on a media spree. He's been giving interviews to all channels since sitting in his room since yesterday. Here is a man who went to jail, a Home Minister who went to jail. From my understanding, he has been debarred from going into Gujarat because there is a fear that he will be able to destroy evidence against him. He is on judicial bail.
No more.
And he is sitting here.
No more.
But this interview was in Ahmedabad. Anyway.
He gave the interview in Ahmedabad.
No. The thing is that he is under scrutiny and he is questioning. You know, politicians do this all the time. All his life, Lalu Yadav said that the fodder allegations were a political conspiracy against him. His party still says that. He has been convicted. He is in jail. So Mr. Lalu Yadav and his RJD can believe what they want.
Now, Ashok Malik.
But the fact is that the courts of this country have convicted him.
No, Ashok Malik. Let's get Ashok. So the point he makes is one minute. The point he makes is Ashok Malik. Let's get you in, and then we'll open this up. The point he's making is, why is there an emphasis on Gujarat government alone? I agree with you. He's a man under the cloud. His role is under a shadow, and there is no doubt about it, Sankarshan. But what he's saying is, shouldn't all state governments be equally answerable? What about the political leadership in other state governments? Ashok Malik, go ahead, please.
Let me start by saying, Arnab, India certainly has a problem with fake encounters. This is a problem not limited to one state, not limited to one police jurisdiction. It's an all-India problem. There is without going into the Gujarat encounters and whether they were fake or not, I have no idea. But there is a fake encounter problem in this country. However, the manner in which the fake encounter problem has been sought to be tackled by the CBI and agencies of the central government is very different from the manner in which the NHRC or other independent agencies have tried to solve it. They have targeted various state governments and the holistic problem. In the case of Gujarat, 32 police officers comprising almost the entire anti-terrorist squad of that state are behind bars in some cases for 6 years in 3 high-profile so-called fake encounter cases. The anti-terrorism squad of an entire state, a border state, has been decimated. At least some of those officers, even if they are convicted, have already spent more time in prison as under trials than they would have to spend if they were convicted. There is certainly something wrong here. So when Amit Shah protests, he doesn't quite protest too much.
Oh, there is something
There
wrong
is
in
some
Gujarat.
method in what he says.
So you are on Amit Shah's side on this, Ashok Malik. You believe that by raising these...
To some degree, yes.
And you believe that he's completely made a victim in this particular case? That he's being... You agree with him when he says, I am being fixed to target Modi? You agree with him there as well?
On the basis of evidence available till now, it is unlikely that he will be pronounced guilty.
So then let me ask you...
That is my understanding.
No. Let me ask you here, in the Ishrat case, there are 4 IB officials who are under the scanner for abetting the encounter. Rajinder Kumar, Rajiv Wankhede, Mittal and MK Sinha. Tell me, is there any proof of any of these people having acted at the behest of the central government?
You see,
No, is there any proof? No, is there any proof? So who's political?
Is there any proof that Mr. Bandara acted on behalf of Narendra Modi or Amit Shah? And if Amit Shah can be questioned, then
now
why can't
No,
Mr.
Bandara himself is saying that.
One second. I thought there were call detailed records.
Mr. Bandara said it where?
Sankarshan.
Where has he said it? In a letter which we don't even know whether it's true.
Well, of course the letter is there because the letter is being quoted. No. Ashok Malik. Ashok Malik, the letter is there. The letter is being quoted.
No, Ashok, you can't go that far. Please.
Ashok,
don't push credibility that far, Ashok.
Go ahead.
CBI chief says the letter has no evidentiary value.
No, please.
Are we in a kangaroo court?
Please, this is not a question of a kangaroo court. There is a letter of
we are
Vanzara.
not.
That letter mentions Amit Shah explicitly.
It is to be made in Gujarat.
The letter has no evidentiary value. The great CBI chief has said it.
Well, I think you
I
are...
don't go by hearsay.
There is not... Well, anyway, let Sankarshan respond to you. Sankarshan, you want to say something there?
You know, where we start clutching at evidentiary values and where we don't want any evidence to be able to say things that we... You know, these are matters of political choice, Ashok. You know, the fact is that Mr. Bandara has said a few things, and I think, you know, I at least as a journalist, whether it has evidentiary value in a court or not, I as a journalist will take note of that, because Mr. Bandara was a senior functionary in the Gujarat sort of dispensation. He has been in jail and he has now said some things. So to say that they are of no value,
he hasn't said it
or we should not take note of them, whether they have evidentiary value or not.
No, forget the question of evidentiary value.
They are journalists. I don't go by hearsay.
Exactly.
I go by evidentiary value.
You don't go by hearsay. No, one second.
This is not here.
So what's
This is not hearsay. This is not a whisper that someone has sort of, made in a dark alley.
One second. So